we turn off stream is going to your chat. Yep, we're live.
Alright.
Special role. Where is it? OFR media. GTS.
This is a stream on Twitch or?
It's on YouTube. It's in the OFR media channel.
Alright. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, no worries. So you're racing in race 2, right?
Yes, I am.
How's the track looking? Difficult,
Track's
easy?
looking. It's in the middle. It's not too hard. Like the only difficult thing about the track is overtaking. These drivers are gonna have some trouble trying to get overtaking done because it's kind of like Monaco, in how tight the track can be. So if you're pretty good at defending, then I mean this is your track if you want to be able to keep a position. But you do got to keep in mind race rules. You got to leave space if somebody's on the inside. So
What about gaps throughout the track? Are people just going to pull away and go into different cliques, or are they going to stay together?
Well, given the massive time difference between some of these drivers, I think that they're going to be able to stick together a bit more though throughout the track. But as the race goes on, they're going to start pulling away and the track's going to become more evenly spread. Only because, you know, some of these corners, they don't require a whole lot of braking, but for the people further down the grid, they will have to brake a little bit earlier than everybody else just so they don't crash into the person in front. That's going to be some trouble. What do you think tire strategy is here, Robot?
I have no idea. I usually get a message from Bagpuss letting me know what the strategies are. Or I can't remember who sends it to me actually, but I haven't heard anything today. I think everyone's still worn out from the F1 race that just happened.
Maybe. I think, you know, people are going to be sitting on the super softs. I heard a couple people talking throughout the league. You know, some people are going for a soft only strategy, just staying on the softs. Not the entire race, but like not switching tires and getting different compounds in the pit. But I don't know how that's going to compare with the people going on the super soft strategy, because time fall off might be a big deal here.
Race is
Whenever, Yeah, time fall off might be a big deal here when it comes to the tires starting to get a lot more worn than everybody else.
Right, so we got a notification that the race is starting. So everyone, thanks for joining us. VR, Platypus, Martin, and Ash, thank you especially for commentating and joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got the final race, round one at least of the final races for GTS. This 10-track season has come to an end, or will come to an end after today's races. We've seen Shane already wrap up the championship, and we've also seen Bruma and Iceman Kimi cement their places in 2 and 3 as well. But the fights are not over, and we have a pretty big battle going on for the team championship now. All default need is 28 points to secure it, so I think if they don't get into any trouble, they should be okay. But we have a big battle going on with Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab, Spinorama, who are looking to secure their team championship in 2nd place, and there's lots of battles going on for the 4th place championship as well in the drivers championship. But here we are racing at the Tokyo Express Outer Loop, I think that's what it's called. You got Dr. Robot and Figgy. How you doing, Figgy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be back in the commentary box, especially for a new division. Not really a new division, but just a new set of racers and a new game.
So here we go. We're just going to ride on board with Ash Wilson, who's starting in 2nd place right now, who will be joining us in the commentary box later just to see if he gets a good getaway from his teammate. And they're away. That's already, all of the lights are gone and we are away. Now Grim is moving up. There's a really fast right-hander at turn 1. They're not up to full speed, so they might be able to get through it full throttle, but we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Grim actually got a pretty decent start. Now a bit further down the field, we've got a Spinorama I can see peeking the nose out there. It's Vilsek in 5th place. Mary's in 4th. Maximus has retained his 3rd place for now, I believe. And we're getting great camera shots from the graphics here. We've got a car spun in the tunnel there. I'm not sure who it was. It looked like it was a Bock and Cole's car. It's Mary. Mary spun. He's back down in 10th place. Did you see what happened there?
No, I couldn't. My graphics were messed up. But
okay, well, I'll jump to the replay then. Let's have a look. So he was in 6th place. 4th place actually. Oh, and he gets a little bit of contact, and Vilsek tries to go down the inside of him and spins him in the tunnel. Then Vilsek pulls away. Mary manages to do a perfect pirouette though, and manages to keep his car pointing in the right direction after spinning. And he is now down in 10th place, unfortunately, but he is still racing, which is good, and he's right on the rear of Bruma right now.
Iceman Kimi, I think, has a time penalty right now, so we'll just have to see, is he going to slow down or is he going to let that affect his lap time?
Now, we're seeing a lot of drifting going around this track as well. Lap 1 is about to be ended. We are only doing 28 laps here. It's going to be about a 45-minute race. Grim's still leading with Ash in 2nd and Maximus still in 3rd. Let me see if I can get the graphics back. There we are. Now we've got the full telemetry so you guys can see it there. So, VR is saying in the chat that there's going to be lots of penalties. We do have the wall riding penalty set to week, so we won't see a lot, but I expect, you know, a lot of drivers will definitely get them, just not probably too many, as they will learn immediately. But we can see already, down in 6th place, Bagpuss has got a 1.4 second penalty already, and behind him, the 7th place, Iceman Kimi's also got a 1.4 second penalty, so I'm not sure if that is wall riding. It's really difficult to actually cut a corner here, so it must be, unless they've come into contact with another driver. But the pack has, we do have 3 groups currently. We've got 1st, 2nd, and just 1st and 2nd, the Rod and Pollock's fishing team actually pulled away a fair bit. 3 seconds behind is Maximus to Grim. And then we've got a bit of a battle going on in 3rd place as well. Figgy's left the room. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Everything's alright. I'm just trying to... I can get back in real quick.
Okay, you're in. Good. I see you back there.
Yeah, man.
Right, so...
Sorry.
No, it's alright. So, for battle for 3rd place currently, we've got Max, Vilsek, Jan, and Iceman Kimi. Now, we know how fast both Jan and Iceman Kimi are, and it's so nice to see Jan in the 1st race. He did miss a few races, and he was so fast in the 2nd race. He was pulled away by about 30 seconds each race, but now he's racing with the big guys. Let's see how he gets on. So, what are your predictions for this race in terms of the top 3, Figgy?
Honestly, I feel like Ash and the Rod and Pollock's team do have quite a bit of pace here, so I do feel like they have a very good chance of being on the podium today.
Interesting. I think so as well. So they've pulled out another 1.5 seconds away from Maximus in 3rd place right now. That puts them 4.7 seconds ahead. What we're not seeing is the fastest racers. For example, the likes of Shane, Bruma, Iceman and Jan make up too many positions. Now, Jan has just made a move on Vilsek as soon as I said that, and he's pushed Vilsek slightly wide there. A lot of contact between these drivers. They need to keep it clean as we see Iceman spin. He's all the way back in 8th place now. He's dropped down 2 positions, and it looks like he's got some engine damage, actually. You can see it flashing there, and he's unable to get back up to racing speed, and that means Bruma has just moved up to 8th place. Let's not forget that Default only need 28 points to secure the team championship here today. They haven't got it at the moment, but they have got this race and the next race to get that done. Let's hope they can do it. But meanwhile, Ash Wilson is going to be joining us in commentary next race, is doing a fantastic race. He just picks up a 1-second penalty there. So just want to say shout out to Castle, Phil and Shorty who have joined us, and VR is saying that every barrier touch is at least a 1.5-second penalty. So maybe that's why we're seeing all these penalties. VR, I think you're right, then we are probably going to see quite a few penalties. Now, we've got Grim C, the teammate of Rod and Pollux, catching up to the back of Ash now. He's just 4 tenths behind. He was 8 tenths. He's closed that gap right up. When do you think Grim could do an overtake, and where on track do you think that can happen?
I definitely think that he's going to have to wait for that overtake. That overtake is going to have to wait until the first sector or the second sector, because those are the areas where you are able to get a whole lot of speed from the toe, and that's where you can get past fairly easily because there's not too many slow corners going through there. So these two are definitely going to be battling into the next lap, but I don't think that he's going to get the overtake done until the second sector at least. And right now, a lot of these drivers still have time penalties. Bagpuss having a 4.6-second time penalty. Yan having a 3-second time penalty. Mary has a 4.3-second time penalty. Iceman Kimley still has half a second time penalty. And Ash now has a 1-second time penalty. He's going to have to slow down and let Grim pass in this sector, I'm pretty sure.
So he did have a 1.4-second penalty. He might have served 4 tenths already. And as I'm now watching Shane trying to overtake Vilsek desperately, he knows how much his team needs those points. I'm just going to quickly remind you guys of next season coming up, 25th of July or 26th of July, when it's going to start. We're doing lots of preseason events before that. Is Shane's going around the outside now. He's touched the wall though. Vilsek squeezed him, but left him enough space to keep it fair. And Shane's tucked into the back of him. So yeah, season 2 is coming, and we've got a lot of drama already. Now we've got in the chat saying that's poor sportsmanship from Vilsek. I think that was the incident with Iceman Kimmy. But let's not forget, apparently rumours are Tag Her Phoenix Race Lab poached a driver from Spinorama next season, and then Spinorama returned the favour, poaching another driver back from them. That was Phil Babbage the first time and AJ the second time. There's a lot of confrontation between these two teams, and it's just appearing everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. It's going to be a very interesting season, especially now we're having 2 separate divisions with sister teams in each division as well. But Shane is dropped back a little bit. He's now 5 tenths behind Vilsek. Are there any more battles going on in the field that I should jump to?
Iceman Kimmy's now fighting with Bruma. Kimmy's right on the tail of Bruma. Bruma's going a bit wide as he touches the wall.
He's got a second penalty there.
Yeah, a 1.4-second time penalty. Both of these drivers have some pretty good time penalties. Yan right now on the back of Bagpuss, only 9 tenths down, but I think Bagpuss is going to start pulling away through here.
Jan's got a 2.9-second penalty as well. He has been doing a lot of wall riding here, whilst Bagpuss has a 4.6-second penalty. I don't think these drivers
are going to want to slow down anytime soon. They're going to want to keep the pace up as much as they can. These time penalties, though, they will affect the final race times, but I don't think any of the drivers care at this point.
You're right. Ash is still kept a 7/10 gap to his teammate Grim in the Rod and Pollux Fishing Racing team there. Maximus has dropped down 4.1 seconds, so he's actually gained half a second back on Grim. Maybe that's because Grim's had to lift and serve his penalty, but Max is actually doing a pretty decent job. This could be his first podium of the season, I believe, in GTS. Let's hope he can get a decent finish. Want to give a shout out to Leaker as well, who can't make it today because he had a blue screen on his PlayStation. He's had to buy a new PlayStation, but it's only 40 out of 90 gig downloaded for him, unfortunately. So he's going to have to miss the final race of the season. But Vilsek is catching up to Max as well. He's only 2.5 seconds behind. We've got Shane in the pits as well. Let's jump to the pits now and see what the strategy is. So he started on the soft tyres. He's got half a tank of fuel left. Let's see what he goes on to, and let's see how much fuel he puts in. Oh, he didn't refuel at all. He pulled away straight away. He's still got half a tank left, and he's gone straight on to those super softs. He's doing another pit. Oh no, I'm looking at Iceman Kimmy right now. Beg your pardon. Iceman has gone on to the super softs and didn't refuel at all. Let me just figure out where Shane is. I can't quite see him at the moment.
For me, Max is spun round on the track in the first sector. I don't know what's going
No,
on.
it's still fine for me at the moment. He's in third place still. He's just touched the wall slightly, but didn't pick up a penalty. He's 1.6 ahead of Vilsek, but he's lost another 3/10 to the Rod and Pollux fishing of Grim Sea. Rich Energy Golden Arrows looking quite solid today. He looks like he's nailed that setup as well because he's hardly touching any walls. I don't even think he's picked up a penalty yet as well. Grim is now taking Ash. Oh, Ash is in the pit, so Ash is doing his pit stop now.
Yeah,
Grim will probably be doing it next time round.
These super softs, they do not last very long on this track, especially the left side of the car. Since there are a lot of right turns, the wear is going to be on those left sides, so you're going to have to watch out for that left rear. If that gets too worn, then that's going to slip out from under you. You're going to hit a wall, get some time penalties, and maybe accidentally mess up a race for another driver.
Yep. So Max is not pitted yet, and he's come out 2.2 seconds ahead of Ash Wilson. Ash did actually do a little bit of refueling there, whilst other drivers have avoided it because they are coming in with half a tank, which means they can go the same stint again and just be on the limit of the fuel. But he did pit a little bit, so maybe that will affect him. Oh, Jan's getting a huge tank slapper as he's coming out of turn 4 there. He's managed to correct it.
I just saw that. Yeah, Jan's right on the back of Ash. He's trying his best to catch up, but I don't think he's going to get it done. So far, both Grim and SMJ and Vilsek are the only drivers without time penalties right now. I don't know if Max has one, but Vilsek no longer has any of it. Yeah, Vilsek no longer has his time penalty.
So Max has just come into the pits. He's only got just over a quarter of a tank, so he is going to have to refuel. Let's see how much he puts in. I can't imagine it will be for too long. Probably pulling away right about now. He's not going a full tank, surely. He's put on the soft tyre, I believe. Let's have a look as he comes out the pits. He's on the super soft tyre, and he's gone to 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Interesting.
Access?
Yeah. He's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel in 6th place right now. If you can't see the telemetry, you can go to the options menu and click race settings or race options all or something like that, and you can see everyone's telemetry.
I can see the telemetry. It's just like I was saying, Max was messed up for me, but the rest of these drivers, you know, a lot has been going on in regards to team changes and controversies, and I think that's messing with these drivers' minds a bit. As we saw earlier with Vilsek when he was fighting with either Iceman or Jan, you know, they were fighting pretty hard, and you know that made Castle make that comment about poor sportsmanship. I think these two constructors are going to have some sort of rivalry going into the next season, seeing as how each one of the constructors poached a driver from the other. So
yeah, and
we'll just have to see how this affects everything.
And there's actually word as well that Spinorama are going to have a second sister team next season. I'm not going to tell you who that is round about now, but they have done some preliminary contracts and got some preliminary agreements in place with a second sister team that would actually disrupt the sister team of Phoenix Race Lab, because they might find themselves getting pressured by 2 teams instead of 1. So it is going to be quite a lot of drama. But Bagpuss has been overtaken by Max now. Max has moved up into 5th place. Bagpuss still has just under 5 seconds worth of penalties. He's got 4.6 seconds that he needs to serve, and we are just over a third of the way through this race as well now. We've got another driver in the pits, or it looked like one of the drivers spun actually. It's Mary.
It was.
Oh no, it's Mary.
Yeah.
He did spin. Mary spun as he was going past the pit lane there.
Jan is no longer on the tail of his teammate. He was just on the tail of Iceman and Kimmy as he was coming out of the pits, but as of right now, Kimmy's just started forming that gap. A lot of these drivers are starting to break free of one another, and so I don't think they're going to have to worry about that toe all that much.
So Grim is now coming into the pits for the second. Why is Grim? Oh no, Shane. Oh no, Grim is in the pits. Why is Grim in the pits?
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I think this is his first stop, because he's got so much wear on his super soft tyres that it looks like that's his first stop, and he's only got a quarter tank of fuel left as you see him refueling there. That's moved Shane up into 2nd place now. So if Shane retains that 2nd place and his fastest lap, they only need 7 more points. So let's check on where his teammate Bruma is, down in 9th place. They don't have enough points currently. They need to get a move on.
Right now, Bagpuss is trying to break through and get past Grim. I think he's going to be trying his hardest right now. You know, there's been a lot of action on this day.
Yeah, they are, but they are in a different race to each other right now. Let's not forget, Grim has just pitted, and he's got about 3/4 of a tank left of fuel, whilst Bagpuss has just over a quarter of a tank, and he's got slightly worn left tyres too.
Real quick, Mary's just spun and hit the wall. He's about as dead on time as he is dead on tires. So, and he's even then he's on the mediums.
And he's got some, he's got some damage on the front bumper, front right wheel as well, which is going to affect it. He's turning left. He's just hit the wall again, increased his penalty to 2.8 seconds. Now he's not having a good race. He's 54 seconds off the race lead at the moment.
Wow, I think he's just trying to tell himself, don't lose your head, so then he can keep focused on this race as much as he can. Hopefully, it's good for a driver to finish a race no matter how far down the pace they may be, because he might be determined this is the final race of the season. He might want to re-sign with his team, or at least try and look good for another team, but who knows what will happen.
So there is a little bit of a battle going on for 4th place right now. It's still Grim, Max and Bagpuss. Max staying ahead of Bagpuss for now. Bagpuss still having to serve 4.3 seconds of his 4.6 second penalties, which was 2 laps ago. Not sure if he served more and later picked up more or not. But we also have Grim catching the back of Vilsek. He's just taken out 2/10 of him, actually, just through the gap between turn 3 and 4 alone. He's doing a mighty job. He's taken out another 2/10. It's now below 2 seconds. And let's see if he takes out more as they go through 5 and 6 here. We've got a really fast chicane in the track through 6, 7 and 8, which they are going to come through now. Let's ride on board of them and see how they get on. You can see how tight it is around here and how easy it is to hit one of these walls. They're doing lots of corrections on the steering wheel as well. It's really hard to keep that wheel as smooth as possible. Bearing in mind some of these guys only have wheels that you can't actually adjust the steering angle with. Some of them do have Fanatec's and things where you can just adjust that on the wheel, but it is not an option in the game, unfortunately. Which is why go-karting is so hard in this game when you use a wheel. But going back to first, we've got Ash about to catch up to the back of the pack. Mary's about to get lapped here, and Mary currently has 5 seconds worth of penalties. He's serving all of his penalties now, actually.
He's getting the blue flag message right now.
Yep, there you go.
And Ash is able to easily get past. Right now, SMJ is in the podium position. He's trying to close in on the back of Ash, maybe get a win. I don't know how many wins he has in the season. I don't know if this will be his first.
No. Shane has far too many. He's already won the driver championship.
That just shows how much I've been keeping in tune with the season. But yeah, a lot of these drivers, some of them are fighting. Each of them are about 2 seconds off of each other, going through the 3rd sector now. So a lot of these drivers are starting to fall apart and just spread out a bit more.
Yeah, I've noticed that because, well, apart from the midfield, so Vilsek's lost another 2/10 to Grim. Max has caught up just 3/10 behind Grim. Shane comes into the pits again, and this is where we're going to see him refuel, because you can see he's almost out of fuel. I will jump back to Vilsek and Grim, though, because Vilsek is now moved up to 2nd. Shane's going to come out in 5th place, I believe. And Grim is now only 1 second behind. So let's just look at the tyres. Vilsek's looking a little bit worn on that rear left and about 10% worn maybe on the other tyres collectively. Going back down to Grim, Grim's about the same. He's got a bit more worn on his front left, but a bit less on his rear left. I don't know why he's catching Vilsek so quickly here. It's down to 1.3 seconds and he's pulling away slightly from Max as well. It was 3/10. It's now over a second as they go through turn 3. Let's hope Max can catch up. This could be a good finish for the Rich Energy Golden Arrows if he can keep it up.
Bagpuss and Yan are having a really good battle at the back of Shane here.
It looks like they're having a battle to see who has the most penalties. Yan's currently winning with 5.8, Bagpuss only on 4.3. That is a lot.
Shane is starting to see the silhouettes of these cars in the back of his rearview mirror, so I think he's going to have to try and start pushing a bit more now. As, Yan is trying to stay in the toe of Bagpuss going through the chicane, but I think one of them is going to hit the wall because of this lack of downforce. Yan is right on the back, only a 1/10.5 down off of Bagpuss, but I don't think he's going to be able to get past right here. He doesn't have the speed to do it.
Bagpuss is tired. There he goes. Bagpuss is letting past. Bagpuss has no tyres and he's come into the pits now as well. He whacked the wall when he came in.
He has no fuel either. That's the thing. He's going to have to refuel quite a bit.
They're the most worn tyres I've seen all race, actually. That's a lot of work.
He's just trying to make his tires and fuel last as long as he can. I think he's trying to play for the long game here.
Now, Max is back up into third because of the pit stop, but he will have to pit in the next 3 laps, I believe. Ash is still... So, right now, the race has been neutralised, effectively. Now Shane has pitted, and it's gone back to where it was at the beginning with Shane making up a few positions. It's still Grim, Ash, Maximus. They're all going to have to pit soon. Ash is actually just pitted, so he's not going to pit, but both Grim and Maximus will. Shane's just pitted as well, so he's going to get a few positions. He's now looking down the inside of Maximus, actually. He's got him. There's a little bit of contact between these two as they're coming up to turn 5. Shane will have the inside line, but he's ducked in behind. Max broke a little bit later there. Shane now trying to get that back again, but he's just not close enough. They're going through the quick chicanes now at 6. There's 7, and here they come through 8 now. Max has still got a penalty to serve, and Shane is right on his rear bumper right now. He's looking down the inside again, but Shane is being careful because he does not want to pick up a penalty, and he does not want to get any more damage to his car. We saw how much that affected him earlier on. Next season, we are going to have hardcore damage on as well, so these guys need to start practicing staying out of trouble because they will have to come into the pits as soon as they get any major damage. But now Shane's looking down the inside again as they are coming up to turn 1. Is he going to be able to outbrake Max here? It looks like he will. He's got the inside, and he's not got him. Max always a little bit of contact, and Shane loses the rear. Max gets squeezed against the wall, and Shane moves ahead up into 3rd place. That's 15 points. They need another 13, and his teammate Broomer still down in 9th place, not having a great race so far.
Yeah, these drivers are getting pretty close and intimate, so I think all they want is to just try and finish this race with as little penalties as possible. But half of these drivers, I don't think they care about the penalties that they have. Backbus still has his 4.2 second time penalty. Yan right now leading the penalties with 5.8 seconds, but he is fairly far ahead of Vilsek, so he will more than likely keep that position if he can keep up this race in the pace that he's going now. His tires are getting a little bit worn. He's starting to lose a bit more fuel. I think he might have to pit within a few laps, otherwise his tires are just going to be gone.
Absolutely. So Grim is only 5/10, less than 5/10 above his teammate right now. Ash Wilson, who's closing him down and putting the pressure on. He's looking down the inside as they go. Oh, Ash is just taking him. Ash is taking him.
Yeah, he's just overtaking him.
I think Grim let him go. I think Grim may have lifted a bit there because that was too easy for him. Far too easy.
But now Shane is right on the back of Grim, only 3/10 down. Grim touching the wall quite a bit, just a little bit though. It's a tiny little tap. And right now Shane is just in the toe right now. I'm gonna ride on board with Shane, see how close he is. Yeah, he's just trying to keep the toe in through these sectors, but I don't think he's gonna be able to get an overtake anytime soon. He does hold the fastest lap record though, so he can't possibly go any faster than that. He gets a bit close to him.
Contact, a lot of
Grim
contact.
touches the wall.
Yeah,
right on the wall.
I'm not sure if there was a little
right
bit of a. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of a pit maneuver there by Shane, but it
Maybe.
did
It
look
looks like
Grim lost the rear a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Grim just slid right into the wall through that corner, carrying a bit too much speed, and I think Shane just got the brunt of all that force, and he was affected by all of that. I think he will try and get an overtake done if he can get a better exit than Grim out of this corner, which he does. He's right on the back of Grim now. Is he going to try and go down the inside? I think he just might. Yeah, he's trying to get the space. Grim is leaving it wide open for him, but he just can't get the overtake done in the first corner.
Not yet. The gap is still less than 2/10 though. He's bringing it down every single mini sector they go through here. It's now 0.125, 0.124, 0.100. It's below a tenth now. He's gaining. He's looking down the inside. He will have a little bit of a speed advantage. If he can brake a little bit later through turn 4, he can get him, and he's got him. He's done it. Shane has moved up.
Yeah.
Grim slid into the wall, lost the rear again, but thankfully the wall managed to stop the oversteer and stabilize his car a little bit. He didn't actually pick up the penalty either.
Right now, Ash has been leading this whole race almost. You know, there have been some moments where he's fallen down the grid, but Grim let him pass, and now he's in first once again. I think Shane does not seem to have the pace to try and catch up to them at the moment, but I think at some point later in the race he will have that pace and he will be able to catch up to Ash and challenge for the lead.
Yeah, I think so. Let's keep an eye on the gap then. 2.3 now. Let's check in a few more laps to see what it's like. Now I'm going to jump a little bit further back to see how Bagpuss is getting on. And where's Jan actually? Because Jan and Vilsek were similarly paced. Jan's got 5.8 seconds worth of penalties. Vilsek has 0 right now. Vilsek looking a little bit fresher on time. Yeah, Jan's going to have to pit very, very soon. His rear left is almost half.
He's pitting. He's pitting this lap more than likely because he has almost little to no fuel left and his tires are gone. That's the thing about this track. This track can be absolutely hard on tires and fuel just because of how fast it is.
Absolutely. So, while these battles are going on, I'm just going to let you guys know in the stream about the next season's teams. Just to do the D1 lineup quickly, Team Default are retaining their name, Shane and Broomer are staying, and surprise, surprise, the past Spinorama driver, Atomic, has moved to Team Default. That is definitely going to be an overpowered team. Let's see who it's going to be who can challenge them. Next up is we've got Lika, Racertate, and Jerry, retaining part of the Spinorama name, but adding Pro to the end of it there. We've got Jan, Castle, and Mika, same drivers, racing in Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab. We've got a new team, a rebranded team from Rich Energy Golden Arrows. It's Maximus, Astro, and Havoc called Raven West. And finally, we've still got Bagpuss, Mary, and Platypus in the Buck and Calls car. Now, as I said earlier, we will have two divisions now as we see Jan come into the pits. Jan and Iceman came in both in the pits, actually. In D2, we've got Thomas, Phil Bab, and another driver who we don't know yet, Tag Sister Team. We haven't got the full name of that team yet, but it will be announced shortly. We've also got Pitch, Robbo, and Martin Bananas in Fris Doro, Golden Arrows junior team, but I suppose that will be the Raven West junior team. We've then got Fifi, Bounty, and AJ in the Spinorama sister team, and Ash, Grim, and Harley in Rod and Pollux, again retaining their name. And the new team is going to be myself, VR, and Rubs, team name to be confirmed at a later date. What's going on track?
Right. Nothing too major. All of these drivers, they seem to have bigger gaps. Vilsec is actually close to Bagpuss. Bagpuss is trying his hardest to push and make a move on Vilsec. Shane just went into the pits along with Grim. So we're just going to have to see what these drivers do. Yeah.
Shane had a little bit more fuel, actually, so I don't think he's going to be able to. There are only 8 laps left of this race as well. Let's see. They're going to be going to the end now, surely.
More than likely, I think Vilsec and Bagpuss are both going to get the jump on them as they exit the pits. Shane is the first to exit out with Bagpuss hot on his tail, only about 1.5 seconds down.
Grim comes out in 5th behind
Vilsec,
Bagpuss.
I mean. Yeah, Vilsec is right on Shane's tail since, you know, Shane had to go a bit slower on that pit exit. He's only 4/10 down off of Shane. I think he's going to try and go to take this P2 away from him. But since Shane is on the fresher tire and has a bit more fuel, it's more than likely it's more than likely Vilsec is going to have to come into the pits this lap since he's pretty low on fuel.
I think he's got another 2 laps left. He's still got about an 8th, which will definitely get him 2 laps, but he's only halfway around this one though, so maybe. Okay, anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, Ash coming into the pits right now for a new set of tires and some fuel. He has little to no fuel left, about 1/10 of fuel left in his tank. Vilsec's still pushing hard, but I think this is going to be the time where he's going to lose out to Shane. Bagpuss also has to come in for fuel and tires. Those tires are almost about gone.
Yeah,
Grim is right now on the tail of Yan, only 6/10 down, but he seems to be a little bit shaky through these corners. I think he's having a little bit of trouble keeping the car stable throughout these corners. I don't know what's going on there.
So Vilsec comes out all the way in 5th place. That's not too bad, actually. Maximus, has he made his final pit stop? I think so. He will have to nurse these tyres to the end if he doesn't want to pit again, because that rear left and front left are looking at about 20% wear, and we know how quickly those left tyres, because this is basically just an entire clockwise track with about 3 left turns. That's about it. So every time these guys are turning right, the weight is shifting to the left side of the car, and those tyres on the left are getting worn. Max has come out 3.2 seconds behind Vilsec. I don't think this P3 is going to be in reach for Max right now, but let's just see. Jan does not have to pit again, neither does Grim 45, or does Vilsec. So Max is looking at a P6 unless he can challenge Vilsec in the next few laps.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Grim is going to be trying to challenge Yan as of right now. Yan still has his time penalty that he's retained throughout the entire race. They're both pretty equal on fuel and tire wear, so we're just going to have to see which strategy plays out. I'm pretty sure they pit around the same time, and Grim seems to be catching right now. He's only a 6/10 down off of Yan. He's not going to try to make any dangerous moves into the first corner, but I think he's just trying to keep the speed up as much as he can. Yan's having a little trouble controlling the car, being a little bit unstable in front, but I don't think he's going to lose it anytime soon. Grim still keeping the pressure on as he gets a bit closer, getting the toe from Yan, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the overtake done anytime soon. Going through this corner, keeping it in 6th gear, Yan also keeping it in 6th gear. Yan got a better exit out of the corner than Grim, had a little bit more speed. So I think Grim is just going to have to try his best through these corners and make sure that Yan either hits a wall, gets into the penalty, or at least makes a mistake, which he seems to be doing. He's grinded the wall a little bit, and that does seem to give Grim the edge going into the 3rd sector, or the 4th sector, I mean.
Yeah, it's not just Grim he's giving the edge to. It might be... Oh no, Vilsek is a bit... Oh no, Vilsek, if he can speed up by about 3 seconds towards the end of the lap, he might be able to jump Yan because of Yan's penalties as well. Yan does have 5.8 seconds of penalties. I am going to quickly bring your attention to 2nd and 1st though, because Shane is less than 3/10 behind Ash Wilson right now. This could be Ash's first race win in the first races, the first tier races here. If you can beat Shane, that would definitely be an achievement he'll want to put on his CV. They're just going up to turn 4 right now. They're past sector 1. Shane did his fastest lap on lap 22, so it was only 2 laps ago. He's broken the 110s and he's gone down to a 109.957. Ash is defending with his heart on his sleeve at the moment. He's making sure Shane does not have any room whatsoever, but now Shane's got him. Shane's moved up into... No, he's still behind. Ash has carried that speed round turn 5. No idea how he managed to do that. He didn't get off the throttle at all. And as they go through the chicanes, he's still in first. Shane is still looking and peeking, but Ash is putting his car exactly where it needs to be to defend as much as he possibly can without sacrificing his corner entry or exit here. He's doing a pretty good job.
Just want to make a quick note for tires and fuel as Shane semi-shunts the back of Ash trying to get an overtake done, which he does.
He's got him.
Yeah, he's got him down the inside of the last corner. But just a quick note on tires and fuel. Ash does have about just a tiny bit more fuel than Shane does, and he has a bit newer tires, so he's gonna have to look out for that. I think Grim did he make the jump on Yan? He was fighting with Yan earlier, wasn't he?
He was, but so he's still. Let's have a look. Yan's got the jump on him, yes, but Yan is not far enough ahead right now to cover his penalty. So Yan's still looking at P4 right now. He's got 5.8 seconds of penalties, and Grim is only 1.5 seconds behind. So Grim has got 4.3 seconds on him at the moment. If Grim can stay out of penalties, he's got P3. That'll be really nice for the Rod and Pollux fishing team to finish both 2 and 3. Right now, Shane has got 26 points, and his teammate Broomer has got 2. So if they finish in this position, they have secured exactly enough points to get their team championship. Broomer's not looking healthy around this race, though. He's usually up there.
Broomer's having a little bit of trouble going into the 4th sector. He was riding the walls quite a bit on the sides here, and I think he's coming up on the rear of Grim right now. I'm pretty sure he's a lapped car, though, so he will not be able to compete for points at all. If he tries to overtake Grim, he will get those blue flag messages again, and he will have to give the position back. Grim is still trying his hardest to push Yan, although he has secured net P3 at the moment. It's I think he's still trying to get the overtake done at least, so then he has the position, fully secured, because we don't know what can happen in the race. One of them could make a mistake and they could spin out, and then there goes his race. I think he just wants to make sure and absolutely be completely 100% positive that he will be safe if he gets the position and moves up into P3, but he's having a little bit of trouble going into the chicanes and keeping his speed up, so that will affect his race and his push onto Yan. Yan is right now P3 with a 5.8 second time penalty. He's about 8 seconds down from Shane, and Ash has moved down quite a bit. He's now about 2.3 seconds down from Shane as well, and that gap seems to be getting quite large as Shane just keeps pushing on. as he's coming onto the back of Mary now. Mary getting the blue flag messages and letting these faster cars by. But he has a little bit of breathing room before Yan and Grim come by as well.
So
right now, oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Grim's. You're right. Grim's actually just taken out about a second actually out of Jan's lead. Jan's got, and as he did that, Jan's picked up an extra 2 seconds worth of penalty, so he's now got 7.3. Now let me just see how far Vilsek is behind. So Jan's 10 seconds behind the lead. Vilsek is 24. So Vilsek needs 7 seconds in the last 2 laps in order to jump Jan. I don't think that's going to be possible, but Vilsek is picking up a healthy 10 points for his team at the moment as well. No one has even come close to toppling Shane's time of a 109. Jan's best time is a 111. Ash's best time is a 111. Vilsek's best time is a 111 as well. So
we had Kimi getting a little bit close there. His best time set on lap 21 was a 110.8. Wow. But as of right now, him and Bagpuss were originally trying to compete with Yan in regards to time penalties. Bagpuss now has a 5.5 second time penalty as he comes up on the back of Yan, having a little bit of trouble, almost knocking himself into the pits. As he touched that barrier a little bit, a lot of these cars are starting to get a little bit unstable around this track. They almost have little to no fuel left as they're entering the last few laps. It's the final lap for most of these drivers. So, as of right now, Shane's secured the final race of the season. And Ash is stuck in P2 with Grim more than likely P3. Grim has a 1.3 second time penalty. As he's coming on the back of Yan right now.
It's still okay though. He's got enough.
Yan is trying to serve his time penalty a bit, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
dropped it down to 6 seconds.
I'm going to bring it back to Shane now because he's just coming up to the final corner now. He's just making his way through 11 and coming up to the final corner 12. If Bruma can finish in 9th place and get those 2 points, they have secured enough points. Shane with another race win finishes with the fastest lap as well with 26 points there. They need 28 to make it. Ash, a fantastic job finishing in P2. Grim has overtaken Yan. He's got him, and Yan has got such a big penalty that even if Yan does overtake us to go through turn 12, Grim is still going to jump him. So Rod and Pollux Fishing having a great race today. Well done there, Grim. And Yan is now serving his penalties at the line, I believe. He crosses the line and, yeah, serves his massive penalties. Vilsek coming around turn 12, going to get 10 points for his team in 5th place there. And Bagpuss, a pretty solid race from him, actually, letting you know everything that went on. He's finished in 6th place, and Iceman Kimi finishes behind him. Now, Maximus is going to come round the line. Oh, and Bruma's actually finished the race already because he was a lap down. So that's going to give him 2 points. And there you go. Team Default have secured the team championships there. They did everything they needed to at the very minimum, and they've got those 28 points in the first race alone. So great job, Team Default. You've won the Constructors' Championships. Well done. And look how many penalties we had there as well. So many in the midfield. But congratulations, everyone. That's the first tier done. 10 races in, and we've done it. So well done, Shane, and well done, Team Default, for both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship, respectively. Please join us again in around, 10 minutes' time, I think, for the next race, where we're going to see the Tier 2 drivers racing. Thanks very much.